time to do our morning show.
On your how this will go.
Come and watch two guys grow old. These are the days.
If we get a YouTube feed,
We'll just stream on D-Live then. Mr. We could
Use
use a man like Donald Trump again. I live in a redneck state.
everybody here's irate.
Man, this intro sure sounds great.
These are
the
days.
Hey, good Wednesday, September 15th morning, everybody. Boomer Bunker, Boomer Bob, John J. Domingo, two old cats in backwards hats discussing hot topics and never gonna stop it. Get your boomer on at boomerbunker.com.
Yep.
Hey, we got a sponsor. I'd like to go ahead and get that out of the way.
Look at us.
I'd like to get it out of the way and pay the bills. You know, nobody's here anyway yet. They haven't clicked on the stream. Internet's slow. That 5G is kicking in real good, isn't it? So here we go. Here's our sponsor.
What's up, nigga? You want to talk some shit? Call me. Start some shit, bitch.
Sup, fool? You gonna talk shit about me, homie? Where you from?
Hundreds of niggas is waiting for your motherfucking call, and they all talking shit about you right now.
You want to sell that shit? Call these motherfuckers ASAP.
Yeah, I said some shit. What? Man, fuck you and your bone spurs.
The hardest niggas is standing by, ready to pick up that phone. Buff niggas, dark niggas, Asian niggas, white.
Suck my dick, bitch.
So yeah, that's our new sponsor.
Jesus. Only $4.99.
213-373-4253.
Only $4.99 a minute.
That is. Where's the telephone number that is? I really feel sorry for them.
I wonder if that's a real phone number. I almost want to call it.
Yeah, I don't want them. I don't know how to block my number.
What's up?
Sup, N-word?
I'm really upset about this California recall election. Although I live all the way across the country on the other side of the, in a state all the way around it. I'm not calling it. I'm not calling that number. I don't know. No, I can't call that number.
I don't even know where 213 is.
213?
Yeah.
213 is California, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. So right now in California, it's like, 3 hours at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yep.
Yeah. Call them up and you start yelling at them. What do you mean? I'm supposed to, it's $5 a minute. I'm here to talk shit with a brother. So Californians are stupid. Okay, so let's go here. Do you think it's Stockholm syndrome? Let's get back to work. Yeah, you know what? I have a lot of state left to screw over in the next year. And this whole thing has really put me behind because Gavin Newsom, couldn't keep screwing the state over while somebody was trying to recall me. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, after the results came out, which I think they're already doing a recall, which we played a video yesterday, a news story that kind of showed how this happened. That's my take, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with it.
Oh, go ahead.
But Gavin Newsom said, "Now let's get back to work." And I think I know what he means by that. Get back to work, packing your shit, and moving the hell out of California.
Yeah. He's lost so many more people are leaving California than are going to California for the first time in history.
I think so, yes.
So the other thing is that, you know what, the people of California, they get what they deserve. And I think that we have to stop this mail-in voting. This is nonsense. You can't have an election that with mail-in voting that isn't right with the, what's the word I'm looking for? That looks like fraud. I mean, there's just so many ways to cheat with mail-in voting. Just too many ways to cheat, and it's got to stop. And again, the Democrats are loving this stuff because they're in power now. They're the ones that have the people in the election boards. And if we don't have free and fair elections in this country, it's over. What do we got? Yeah, Banana Republic now?
I watched a little of the live coverage last night after 10 p.m. my time, which would have been 8 p.m. there when results were due. It took them a while to get to. It took them about 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes to actually start to announce. I think they waited for AP to call the election. And I think it was the mayor of San Diego. I can't remember that guy's name. Mike McCutcheons, or I can't remember his name.
The mayor of San Diego.
Yeah. And then so I watched his speech, which wasn't necessarily a concession speech, but it was. He was very, dignified and very cool about what he said. He wasn't mean at all. It wasn't accusational. Now, Caitlyn Jenner is pretty loose with what they said, and I hate to say it, but I'm on her side with things. She kind of threw rocks at the way that the election was handled as far as the mail-in voting and all that kind of stuff, and that will we ever get a fair election again in this country, that kind of thing. That she didn't necessarily call it rigged or anything, but she threw questions at it.
Well, if you're questioning the election, then what are you saying? So how do you say the election was rigged without saying the election was rigged?
She said that, will we ever have an election? We've got to get back to where the voters trust the election process and the results.
I agree with it. And the other thing that has to stop is Donald Trump has to drop out of politics. He has to stop. We can't have him run for 2024 because the issue was they didn't go. In other words, they could not. Everybody, all the big heavy hitters, Obama, Biden, Harris, and then you had Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, all those people that came over. They couldn't say anything about what one thing that Gavin Newsom has done well. All they could say was, if you vote for Larry Elder, it's a vote for Trump. So in other words, they're just and people hate Trump. The other side hate Trump. I mean, the state is just a festering pile of shit. And when I say that, it means because there's piles of shit all over. Humans are shitting in the street.
Yeah.
Since, I don't know, 1930, 1920, did you see, human shit in the street? Except every once in a while, a run from the car to the house.
New York has that issue too.
Taco Bell. Okay.
And Austin, Texas is real bad. They have a really bad homeless problem there.
But what I'm saying is that Larry Elder, he wanted to straighten out education. He wanted to really work on the homeless problem. He really had the things that California really needs. And they're like, nope, we like this guy that does nothing and drives a state into the ground like a tent stake. That's who we want. That's this guy.
Well, because he appeals to their woke bullshit.
Well, he locks all the restaurants down and shuts them down, and you can't go out and get something to eat, but I can go with my friends, maskless, and go to this fancy restaurant and spend all this money. The rules are for thee, for me, the rules for me and not for thee. So in other words, screw it.
I see it like this. California could have had either a black man or a transgender person in office right now.
First of all, that doesn't count if you're conservative. In other words, if you have conservative values and you're a transgender, you're a piece of shit. If you're a black person and you have conservative values, you're the black face of white supremacy.
Yeah, Uncle Tom style stuff.
Right. And then the thing with Trump is he's got to get out of the way. They're just going to do this. They're going to keep using him. Oh, and Trump's already saying, you know what? The election in California was rigged, just like our election was rigged, and I lost to Joe Biden in this terrible, terrible rigged election. Shut up! You were president. How could you let them rig the election out from under you when you were in control? Look, I like his policies and stuff, but he's a nitwit sometimes with his,
I agree.
We don't need him coming out and saying the election was rigged. We look stupid.
Well, you don't throw accusations like that without doing the groundwork to back it up. And if you can't back it up, especially when you're president, former president, just shut up until you have hard evidence in your hand that you can use to back up what you're claiming.
Why worry about evidence?
If you're a podcaster, whatever, okay, you can say whatever you want. If you're on the media news, newscaster, whatever, say whatever you want. They've been doing that for a long time. But when you're somebody like him in that particular position, well, you kind of need to back up what you're talking about. Unless
you're us, over opinionated.
I just said, unless you're a podcaster. So,
well, a lot of podcasters do like to use facts, and again, I guess we use facts, with opinions. But hey, California, you deserve what you get. There's going to be a certain point where the state can't be held up. The amount of money that the government requires that people can't pay for, and then it's all going to come crashing down. What happens when a state goes bankrupt? What's going on right now? They're saying that Europe is holding on by a thread, like Greece and the European Union. They're in really, really, really bad shape financially, and this is just a house of cards. And all they need is a breeze, and this is all going to blow down, and it's going to make the depression look like child's play. So I don't know, but we had a shot at going into California. Had a guy that really cared about California, grew up in California, went through the school system in California, went to college, put himself through college, is now a radio host. He had a lot of great ideas. Nope. How dare you? How dare you want to fix this state? How dare you want to take and educate underprivileged children and make it where low-income families can get a good education? How dare you? He wanted the money, instead of the money to go to the school system, he wanted the money to follow the child. So then public school systems would have to either get up their game, or these charter schools would eat their lunch and take all the kids, and they wouldn't have anybody to teach. And it's all about the unions, where they, you get tenure in a public school and you can just do whatever you want. I don't know. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Where's common sense? This was ridiculous.
Its casket is floating around somewhere above ground in Louisiana. That's where common sense is.
Oh, I guess. So apparently they're supposed to be having another rally in Washington.
I've got the article pulled up. I'll bring it up.
Sure. It's a far right rally. I haven't heard of this. So, everybody's keeping it, basically on the wrap. The rally's dubbed Justice for J6, and is scheduled for September 18th.
Right. So this article says, the headline, police will put fencing back up around the Capitol building ahead of a far-right rally supporting January 6th rioters. Let's see. I'll
tell you what, they can get that fence up like nobody's business. That's miles and miles and miles of fence they put up.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's taxpayer dollars, so what do they care? They'll just print more money to devalue all of our money that we currently have.
Who is this by? What's the name of this? Business Insider is the
yeah. Well, you can find this on pretty much anything. I just grabbed the first link I could find on it.
So the event is being held to support the rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. See, I don't want to support the rioters. The people that broke into there and ran around and were fighting with the police, they should have been arrested. They should be prosecuted, and they should serve time. All right, it's not what you do. That's shenanigans. And just because, and don't give me that shit that, oh, well, look what happened with Black Lives Matter. That was wrong too. Don't you nitwits remember 2 wrongs don't make a right? Just because, well, they did it, I'm going to go do it.
Well, this fence also shows that there are no opportunity zones in or around the Capitol building area. So,
well, but how about let's just say we beef up the police presence around the Capitol during this day? Yeah. Do we need to put a fence up? All that work, all that money to put the fence up every time there's a rally?
It's a monument. That fence is a monument to January 6th.
Please.
It is.
Yeah, well, you know what? Next time a police officer shoots a black person in a city, they should take and put up that kind of fence around every Walmart, Target, and business so it doesn't get looted.
Did you watch that video that I DM'd you earlier?
I did watch it. I tried to bring it up. I tried to
Brevard County, Florida. It was the dash cam from one of the.
It's a news story.
Yeah, it's a news story. I didn't pull the video yet. My wife had messaged me that while I was in the bathroom getting dressed and whatnot.
Yeah, I could not. I tried to pull it, and it would only come up as audio. However I do it. Yeah, however I do it. This isn't going to work. Oops. See if I can pull this over to the other one.
I mean, it's a YouTube video, so I don't know why it would.
I have no idea either why it does that. Why wouldn't do that?
I'll pull the video right now if you just give me.
I have it. I mean, I'm going to have it on YouTube if you want me to pull it up here.
No, I can pull the actual video in like 2 minutes.
Pull the actual video? Okay.
Yeah, I am quick like that.
You're quick like that? I'm quick like a bunny. I can pull that video up and have it ready to go. The farting again.
Little hold music.
Hang on. I have my own. Hang on. I have my own hold music.
All right, I got it.
Oh, damn.
Now I don't want to turn the music off, though.
I want to. Yeah, I don't like this. Drummer's just sitting running around.
I got it. Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Roll the clip, Bob.
Dramatic new body cam video just released of an armed ambush on a pair of sheriff's deputies from Brevard County, Florida. A warning, it is video that...
Which is where I used to live in Florida.
Bullets fly when a pair of Florida deputies are suddenly ambushed. It all started with a traffic stop. Deputy Tyler Toman talking to a woman while another person rests against the trunk of the sedan. A second deputy, Brian Potters, approaches the vehicle and inside sees a third adult and a baby, and also a dog in the back seat. He makes small talk about his own kids and asks the adult to get out of the vehicle.
He wants to talk to you out here. Is that all you're... Yeah. I'll watch him for you. He's all right. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell. I'll make sure they're all right. I got babies too, man.
That's when the car door opens and all hell breaks loose. More than 61 bullets fired in less than a minute. The man with the assault rifle hit in the leg, and Deputy Brian Potter shouts out he's been hit. Deputy Potter's disoriented, not realizing the gunman is right behind him. The gunman hammers Potters in the face with the butt of his rifle, and when Potters goes down, the gunman keeps beating his face, fracturing his sinus and orbital bones. Deputy Tyler Toman drops his spent clip, quickly reloads his gun.
Hold on a second.
At the man attacking Deputy Potters.
Barney Fife over there ran out of bullets and never reloaded. So meanwhile, while the guy is beating the other cop with a assault rifle, he's trying to reload and come back. Although he did reload. Go ahead.
I'm surprised the guy only got hit in the leg.
Well,
both of them. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. The one thing is that guy in the back of the car in the red shorts, Man, he beelined out of there as soon as the shooting starts. He's like, "See ya, I'm gone. I don't want any of this. I don't have a gun. I'm not
unloading it at the man attacking Deputy Potters.
Let there be no doubt.
You think
Listen to this.
Got exactly what he deserved. And to those out there who might be foolish enough to ask why we shot him so many times, that answer is simple. Because evil can never be dead enough.
The Brevard County Sheriff says the man who attacked the deputy was 38-year-old Paris Wilder. The sheriff calling him a violent career criminal with a long history of crimes, including drug trafficking, aggravated assault, battery on a law enforcement officer, and attempted murder. Wilder was out on bond at the time of the attack. Hello,
Well, hopefully the baby and the dog are okay. Jeez, those were innocents in this.
that guy didn't care about that baby and he didn't care about that dog. He got out shooting. And that one cop, the one that didn't get shot, they better look at him because he did not handle pressure well. He didn't know what was going on. He turned around and the guy was right behind him, and then he ran away to load, and then he came back. Although he did shoot him up when he got back.
Well, I mean, all they needed to do, I could have solved this. All they needed to do was just call.
Now stop.
They just needed to call this hotline. Call them and talk some shit. Get it off their chest.
No,
exactly. Right?
No, we don't need to talk. She didn't need to talk some shit.
But maybe then he wouldn't have, been walking around with a Uzi, ready to blast some caps and some cops or whatever the slang term.
Well, the other thing is he only hit him in, all those shots fired and they only hit him in the leg. And he come hopping around.
Yeah, I'm like surprised that the guy didn't hide behind the car. Well, like in front of the car and let that baby get shot and that dog.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't understand where the woman went. You didn't see. The guy with the red shorts, he's still running. He's like,
You ever ran through mangroves and that kind of, because that dude went for the brush, and I've lived there where they were and that area, and I've had to go into brush before over there, and I'm telling you right now, it's not fun. There's all kind of dangers in there.
Okay, well, like that guy down in Louisiana during the Ida hurricane, he was out walking around in floodwaters, and the next thing you know, there was a big commotion, and a 504-pound alligator ate him. His wife said, "Yeah, there was a big commotion. I didn't see him anymore. And then there was this big alligator floating around." So then they found the alligator, and they caught the alligator. They opened him up, and the guy was in small pieces of them were inside.
I was going to say he was probably a 300-pound alligator prior to that.
Yeah, maybe.
He was waiting to have a nice shit later.
Right. Well, I mean, again, so the only thing that I would say the Democrats are making a big deal out of this January 6th thing. And I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal, but it wasn't an insurrection. In other words, it was a riot. People broke in and they attacked Capitol Police. But there was other places where they were let in. Like they walked up to the door and the Capitol Police just let them in. And they should not be prosecuted. So it wasn't an insurrection because it took them about 2 hours. They got the people out of there and the business was done by the end of the day. And here's the other thing, too. If the Capitol Police would have put any kind of thought into this, they would have been able to turn that away. So, I don't know. It's just, they can't run on the record. So what they're going to do is they're going to make the other side look like bad guys, like we're heathens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. What do you expect out of these people who organize these kind of events and then attend to them? Like, who's taking off of work to go do this shit and get in the RV and I put on your tactical gear, and it's just retarded. It's
cosplay.
You're not going to win. I don't know why you're bothering. This is no different than the Antifa idiots and all this stuff. Just knock it off. What it like with, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around why you would do this.
Well, I can't wrap my head around why you would put the fences up, and I can't wrap my head around why you would go down there in your tactical gear. I mean, I can understand. Well, it is on a Saturday, right? It's 3 days. It's on a Saturday or a Sunday. So people, they're off from work. They're going to go down there and they're going to, I mean, I can understand protesting. I get that. That part of it I get. But it needs to be peaceful.
So if this was going to be a BLM rally or a gay pride march, they wouldn't put up the fencing.
No. But definitely, if it was a gay pride march, they wouldn't put up the fencing. There would be no need to. Black Lives Matter. I don't think they're going to attack the government.
But if it were, it's the only reason that it's going back up is because this is J6 bullshit.
Black Lives Matter don't want to destroy the courthouse and everything. They just want to go over and wreck a Starbucks or break into businesses or damage businesses, that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year and a half, because the way that they're trying to spend money and the nonsense that they're talking about as far as climate change and how we're going to take and change, we as humans, we can't change the climate. We don't have, I think it's great that the Americans think that we're going to stop driving cars and then all of a sudden, we're not going to have climate change anymore. You remember, we're just like one little country, right? There's South America, there's Central America, there's Canada, Europe, Asia. You think they're going to all stop? You think they're going to stop? China's right now building factories with coal plants, and they don't even have the scrubbers on their coal plants like we do. They're
using anything that they can. They don't care where it comes from. As long as it provides power that they need, they don't give a shit about any of it.
All right, and no one says anything about China. Nothing except Trump. China. They don't say anything about China. They don't care. Same thing with India. India's doing the same thing. Two of the biggest polluters are, and we're supposed to have a climate accord, and we're going to ask them nicely, like we're asking the Taliban. We're asking the Taliban to be nice.
What is this hypocritical left video that you have? For some reason, I can't open any of the videos.
I know. I can't.
While you're pulling that up, I gotta share like a photo here. Something I saw the other day that I thought was hilarious. Here's old Biden taking I guess this was probably 9/11 something, and he's got a bunch of kids around him, and two of the kids are wearing, right here, these two are wearing MAGA hats, basically, which is pretty funny.
And he doesn't even know. He's like, when's the ice cream truck getting here?
Well, that's what the thing on his chin is. It's to catch the drips from the ice cream cones.
The ice cream. Okay, I have it here.
All right, bud.
She sums this up pretty well.
All right.
Y'all care about Black lives only if it's a white cop murdering them. Y'all care about people dying from COVID unless it's an unvaccinated person. Y'all care about my body, my choice, unless it has to do with the vaccine. Y'all screamed Trump was taking our rights away, but stopped screaming once Biden started taking our rights away. Y'all wanted Trump impeached for what happened over the Capitol shit, but don't want Biden impeached for the shit that went down in Afghanistan. Y'all care about our children unless it's an unborn baby. Y'all care about LGBTQ unless they're conservative. Y'all are some of the biggest hypocrites out there. You preach hate. You preach division. You preach false narratives. You preach communism. You preach government control. You preach anything the media tells you. But you stand blind to what's really going on in our country. And it's pathetic and sad.
I believe we talked about this the other day, and probably in like a Discord, voice chat. For those interested, we do have a Discord channel. I'm sure there's a link somewhere in the description or whatever. You can find it online wherever.
In the show notes, in the show notes, there's one. Yeah. I also have, I don't know, you know who Chad Prather is? You heard of him?
No, but I'd like to complete my thought that we were talking about this the other day about how they're so worried about, saving lives with the vaccines and saving lives and saving lives. They only care about lives with vaccines. What about, like the woman said, all the aborted babies and all of the homeless people, the drug addicts, How about drone strikes on the wrong house? You know, all this stuff. They don't care about lives. If they did, they wouldn't be doing all of these hundreds of other things that are killing people on a daily basis. You know, they would have, if they cared about lives, they would have outlawed tobacco products, I don't know, decades ago, but they collect too many taxes from that, and there's too much lobby money coming in so bad that it's not an instant death. Leave it alone.
Same thing with the alcohol.
Right.
So Chad Prather is running for governor in the state of Texas. He's also a comedian. He also has a podcast and on the Blaze TV network. And
he's a righty.
He's a righty. He talks very fast, but he's dead on here.
We all knew that 14 days to flatten the curve was utter bullshit. I saw through it. You saw through it. We said it over and over and over again. Now look where we are because of the indifference of good men who just want to be better than everybody else and say, oh, we're not going to stoop to their level. We backed away when the protests started. We backed away when they called us racist, bigots, and supremacists and Nazis because we're conservatives or constitutionalists. We did nothing when the Department of Homeland Security labeled and identified veterans as the highest potential threat to America, calling them domestic terrorists. Did nothing when they attacked us in the streets. We did nothing while they destroyed our monuments and erased and changed our history. We did nothing while they indoctrinated our children. We did nothing when the big media and big tech turned into a propaganda machine bent on sowing the seeds of division and hate. We did nothing when they tampered with our elections. We did nothing when they abandoned our people and allies in Afghanistan. Now, here we are where a complete failure of a president dictates to us that this isn't about our freedom. It comes down to coercion and demands. Folks, when are we going to stand up and do something? Do not comply to this nonsense. Mass noncompliance is the answer. Stop the mandate. No more Biden lies. You're being sold a bill of goods, folks, and it's called tyranny.
Cool. Next time you buy a hat, get one that fits your head.
That's what you got out of that?
Intimidator, man. Number 3. Ooh, Earnhardt.
You know, man, you got to go with that. You know what I say?
You're done. You did not just chick roll me.
Oh, not chick roll. That's Elvis.
It's still a chick roll. Still playing, dude.
I know.
That's funny.
I want a burning love.
Oh no, that wasn't burning love.
Yes, it was. That was Elvis.
A hunk of burning love.
Yeah, burning.
No, it
love.
wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Hold on, I'll bring it back.
Temperature rise.
All right, I'll bring it back. Hold on.
My mom was is a huge Elvis fan. Like she still,
of course,
enjoys his music today. Of course, you know. We moved to Alabama on Elvis's birthday, right after he passed away. I know this because the entire 10-hour drive down here was nothing but Elvis music all day on every radio station that there was.
I hear you.
It was terrible. It was burning love. Okay. But it's not hunk of burning love.
Sure it is.
No. Go forward to the chorus. Okay. He got a different microphone. That's nice.
It might not be your guy. It might not be your guy. I don't know.
It might not be.
Right. I just found another guy.
Well, I think he goes by the name Mr. Chicken. So whatever that is, it doesn't give the when you download the video, it doesn't give all the like the meta that's down there in the bottom that you usually see. So I got one for you. I've already got it up. I'll share this. You saw it pre-show. I was doing a test, but here you go.
I got vaccinated, but if you get vaccinated, my vaccinated will work gooder.
Yeah, again, you go back with the whole thing where you're making it mandatory. That's when you overstep. That's the line. When you make it mandatory, you're going to fire people. You're going to fire, and you're going to fire nurses. Nurses don't want this. They're not going to take it. They're going to quit their jobs. And then, so now you're going to have hospitals that can't treat people. You're making shit worse. Just
I'm married to that.
He's eating our white children.
Oh, that's awesome, sweetheart. I can't wait to discuss that when you get home.
Oh my God.
I want to hear her elaborate on that.
At first, I thought it said white chicken. I was like, well, how do you know he's eating white chicken?
Well, some people don't like the dark meat.
Oh, I love the dark meat.
Oh,
you know,
well,
a chicken thigh. A chicken thigh is the fat man's chicken wing.
Well, your other co-host likes it too.
Yeah, well, chicken, whatever, maybe.
He has a black girlfriend.
I understand. Yeah, I know that. I don't know whether you're going to.
I enjoyed your last episode, by the way, of the Gaslighting podcast. I thought Devin's input was minimal, but what he did input was necessary. It added to the show. So I thought he did a good job. You did a good job.
He's a young podcaster. I'm trying to get him to talk more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him to
yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to talk more. But if people don't talk, I'll fill the space. You know me, Bob.
But you don't think that's the generation though? Like they speak in memes.
Well, yeah, some do, some don't. But
because that's how they consume information is just one-liners on a meme at a time.
Yeah, and it's really weird. Like they'll put up a meme and they'll say, "Look at this. This is a great meme," and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, the ones with all the weird little cartoon drawings that you're like, that's just creepy at best. I don't even want to look at it. I don't even care what the captions are. I don't care.
It's like two heads or something, and I don't get it. I don't get their type of humor. I don't get what they're talking about. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Did you see this one? I haven't verified it yet. We'll just share this screen real quick. I haven't verified this, but okay. So this was a tweet from somebody at Disney Glimpses. 2020 peak active cases 9,034,460. Vaccinated people 0. 2021 peak active cases 9,243,682. Vaccinated 71%. I hate to break this to you, but this is not a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Listen. There's too many people that are vaccinated that are still getting COVID. And I guess, they're not dying and maybe this is helpful. And there are a lot of people that are unvaccinated and they're getting it and they're going to the hospital and they're dying. And so to me, if you're conservative and you're afraid of this vaccine, you better do something else because you're playing right into their hands. We're losing more and more conservatives dying from COVID because they're being stubborn about this vaccine. But here's the thing. They always say statistics don't lie, but liars use statistics. And that's the problem I have with all this reporting, because they're not really giving us good numbers that we can bear down on. Like, okay, if all these people are dying, how many of them, well, like what age are they? All right. Are they older? Are they younger? One of the things they say that if you're obese, all right, that if you're obese, then you have your chances of dying from COVID go up exponentially.
From like 24 times. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. I understand that. But they're like, okay, well, stop eating cornflakes and potato chips and go for a walk. Like that's going to stop something. That's going to turn that around. There's another big issue around here with the way that the medical community looks at overweight people. And there's certain things that has to do with insulin resistance, where your body won't burn the fat. And, you can work out and do all kinds of things and it does not work. What I'm finding out now is that if you have like an insulin resistant situation, the only way to stop that or to try to prevent that and lose weight is to stop eating for longer periods of time. So in other words, do intermittent fasting where you either, you wait 12 to 16 hours before you eat, and then you only eat in a window for 4 hours and then you're done. So there's a lot of other things, but they don't really, they don't treat fat people. Like if I go to the doctor and I say, okay, I got bad knees. And they go, okay, well, lose weight. Okay, that's great. How can I walk? How can I exercise more?
Yeah, I have a brother that has the same problem. He has no cartilage in either knee. And exercising,
There's
very difficult to do.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, they have chair exercises where you can sit down and you can do chair exercises for 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll tell you, when you first start, you get winded, but it is a way to get your body moving, blood pumping. And, so there are things that you can do. But this whole thing is like, eat a salad and take a walk, fatty. That's not happening. It's not, it takes a while for people to lose a lot of weight. It's going to take at least a year and a half to lose that weight. Some people that are just a little bit overweight, yeah, they can get into a healthier lifestyle, and that's fine. But there's a considerable portion of this country that's we're plump, we're fluffy. So I don't know.
When there's fast food joints on every corner, and virtually the first ingredient on almost everything we consume is sugar or a alternative to that,
right?
What do you expect? Of course, you're going to get insulin resistance, and you're going to have diabetes and that kind of stuff. Now, from what I remember, I read up on that quercetin that the one of the alternatives to the hydroxychloroquine. If you can't get that, blah blah blah, you get either EGCG, which is a green tea extract, and the quercetin. One of the things that, from what I read, if I remember correctly, that it helps is with insulin resistance.
Oh, really?
Now, of course, talk to your doctor before doing anything like that. But I mean, if you're having that problem and you just can't beat it, look into it. Quercetin.
Yeah, we're just two boomers on the internet that don't know anything.
I'm just passing on information that I've read.
The problem I have is that I can't handle green tea. Green tea makes my heart, it just makes my heart palpitate. I feel like, my my heart's going to jump out of my chest. And I don't understand, but green tea and I do not get along at all. So.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've tried different ways. I've tried it in pill form. I've tried, drinking green tea. I've tried making, I thought maybe it was because it was hot. I made a green tea, iced tea. Nothing. Anytime I drink it, I'm just like, I get the jitters. It's horrible. I feel like crap. I tried, I said, well, maybe if I take it for a while, my body will get used to it and I won't feel this way. Nope. Tried it for a week. Couldn't sleep. Whatever's in green tea, it really affects me in a negative way. Just saying.
So last night I was hanging out with the wife. We're discussing getting new phones and whatnot. We haven't got new phones in a couple of years, and we've been on a kind of a budget phone plan, phone carrier for a while, just trying to cut back on, giving away money for nothing. And I was, my wife and I the way we do this is I'll sit here and I'll read articles to her or read reviews to her, and we interact back and forth about it. And I don't know if she's just being nice and doesn't want to hear me talk, but is too nice to say, oh, shut up, or if she's genuinely interested. So I was reading some of the bad reviews. When we look at something, I don't want to hear you, because it's all like, this is the best phone I've ever had, without telling you what phone you had before that. Like if what you had before was a tin can and some string, it's not a fair comparison. So anyway, so I'm over here, reading reviews, and I'm like, battery life is astounding. I charge it every 2 days with regular use. I went on a 2.5-day camping trip and forgot my car charger. With taking numerous photos and videos and checking the map, I was able to eke out of the trip without a charger. Amazing. And I get done reading a review and I look over and my wife's over here. I'm like, I think my voice has melatonin in it. So I don't know what it is. It's like I knocked her right the hell out. So,
well, we have said before, I mean I, that a lot of times that you paint the room, you tell everybody about everything that's in the room and you don't get to the point.
I was reading reviews.
I understand. I'm not saying this is the time. Hey, I understand, there's a lot of times when it's late at night and I'm talking to my girlfriend and she's talking to me and her voice is soothing and stuff like that. And I start to fall asleep and she gets pissed. Well, I guess I'm putting you to sleep. I guess I'm boring you. No, it's late. I'm tired.
So you're saying I would make a really bad stand-up comic? Everybody would just go to sleep no matter how hilarious the jokes were.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that your tone of voice and everything might be soothing to your wife. That's what I'm saying. And it may be that, she's tired and she's trying to listen to you, but your soothing voice makes her drift off into sleep. It's just because she fell asleep listening to you doesn't mean it has anything to do with you. Why does that have anything to do with you? Do you feel that it's an insult to you because she felt, what if she was tired? She worked all day. It's late at night. You're reading things. She's trying to pay attention.
It was like 8 o'clock at night. It wasn't really late at night, but yeah, okay.
Was she laying down? Was she sitting up?
She was kicked back.
Yeah.
We were just hanging out on the couch, just laying in the bed chilling.
Anytime you get me horizontal, there's a very, very good chance I'm going to sleep.
You have a comfortable couch, so
yeah. So I'm just saying, don't make it about you.
So you don't think that would transcribe into my comedy if I decided to do something?
No, I don't think it would have any difference. But there is a podcast out there. It's like the Sleep 2 podcast where a guy goes and he makes bank. I mean, this is a very popular podcast, and it's like 4 or 5 hours long, and he gets on and he uses a very soft voice and he talks to you and he'll read things and maybe he'll talk about his electric bill or whatever. And it's just him talking
my utility bill the other day.
Yeah. And it puts people to sleep.
And I was surprised to find out that I had used 8,700 kilowatt hours of electricity.
I don't understand
my efforts to make sure that I don't overuse and turn off lights.
I found that when I wash at night, the electric is cheaper. So I don't use as much. It doesn't cost as much if I use the washer late at night than if I do during the day, or if I wait till the weekend when the prices are higher.
My rule is if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down to conserve water.
What is the best way to hard boil an egg? I have a friend the other day that put it in the air fryer and he said they were delicious. I might have to try that. That kind of.
My wife uses an egg cooker that can hold 10 eggs at a time. Why not 12? Aren't there 12 in a dozen? Is this so you have 2 eggs left over when you make eggs? Just in case you need some later to bake a cake?
I have
How about some cornbread muffins?
I have an Instapot that I bought a $15 thing where I could cook 18 eggs, hard boil them at the same time. I've used it twice because I can't stand the time it takes to drag it out, put it up, and pay attention to it.
Okay, you know that eye at the top of the screen that tells us how many viewers we have? That eye is beginning to slam shut.
They're all falling asleep. The ones that they're leaving, or the other ones have fell asleep right at their keyboard.
So it's about delivery. I should have yelled it at my wife. I think this phone is great.
Yeah. I mean, is she even interested? Yeah, Bob, just tell us what phone.
I switched over from Android. I've always had Android phones, but I switched over to iPhone, and I hate it. I hate it.
I'll tell you what. Android phones are better than iPhones. I'm just going to say it. And I've had an iPhone.
For what?
As a phone, the way you can do things, a iPhone has it seems like it has a single, you can only do one thing at a time with an iPhone.
Not true.
Oh, okay. For 2 years, I bought the Google Pixel, and I could video chat and then also look at Google and stuff and not lose the video chat.
Yeah. So if you're doing it, so if I were to FaceTime you right now and we were talking and I needed to look up whatever webpage, email, see if I got your text, it would turn my camera. We would remain connected, but your view of me would turn black while I'm looking at that text message, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's other things
that's different on an Android.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it'll still be a little window up there. You can still see it, and you can do. It seems like it has more than one processor. You can do a lot more with it. And hey, listen, I've been a big iPhone. I went back to the iPhone, but here we go.
Yeah, you got one about a year ago.
Your voice is calming, and I know you will take care of us.
Oh, that's a load of shit. Because 90% of the time I'm going around the house fucking liberals. Oh, shut up. That's stupid. You're out of your mind, lady. I can't believe these people are allowed to broadcast news like that.
Yeah, that's true. I do the same. I can't watch the news. Like, I try to listen to, I get most of my news and information from podcasts, and I lean more to the conservative podcast. But there are podcasts that I try to listen to that are more left leaning, and I end up, I'm like, oh, God, shut your mouth. It's so stupid, the stuff that you're talking about. And one of them, they used to be on, it was The Hill, and it was called Risings. It's a hot looking white chick. Let me see if I can look at it. It's a hot looking white chick and her Asian Indian co-host. It's called Breaking Points with Crystal and Sager. Her name is Crystal Ball.
But wasn't she? She is no longer on that anymore. She's no longer on that show anymore.
No, she's not on Rising anymore. They quit.
Okay.
They quit The Hill and they started their own podcasting.
Right. Okay.
Their own podcast and stuff. Yeah.
And her replacement's not.
No. Yeah. So I listened to that, and then there's another one. Well, the other one I like is Congressional Dish. She sometimes, I'd like to say she's middle of the road, but she really is left leaning. And then there's this other one that Adam Curry turned me on to, Pivot, and he listens to it, and now I hate listening to it.
Oh, really? What do they do? Like hour-long episodes, or what? Is it daily, weekly? What?
It's let me see. September 10th, September 14th, September 3rd. Yeah, this right here, this telephone conversation.
Go ahead. Who cares? Nobody watches anyway.
So I'm saying it's her and her co-host, and it's just the drivel to fall out of their mouth. And I try to listen to it to get, maybe listen to both sides, but it's hard. There was another one called I Doubt It, and it's a husband and wife team, and they are so progressive and so liberal that I almost want to throw my phone against the wall when I listen to them.
I kind of bounce back and forth between podcast, like when I'm home alone and I'm just doing stuff, vacuuming, cleaning, whatever little things around the house. I'll leave a TV on so I can hear it in the background, and or sometimes I'm fuck TV, and I'll just put on a podcast if there's anything I'm actually interested in or in the mood for. It's like music for me when it comes to podcasts. I got to be in the mood for it. The thing about TV, I think I yell more at the stupid commercials than I do the actual newscasts, because I almost expect it out of them. But then we have local law commercials come on, and this guy's like, he's got like a 3-year-old kid. He's like, I love watching my son grow up. He learns more every day. It seems like he can do more, say more every day. No shit. That's called growing up. You're raising your kid. Thanks for telling us that. And if you call me, I'll take care of you just like I take care of my son. What are you going to pay for my college in 18 years? What are you talking about?
Well, here's the other thing too. You live down in Alabama, again, a very small market. And up here in Philadelphia, the market is big advertising dollars. They put more advertising dollars into things. So we don't really have commercials like that. I mean, most of ours are well done, well put together. So lawyer commercials here are just through the roof ridiculous. There's so many of them. There's 20 damn law offices that are advertising all day long. It's annoying as hell. They'll show that, and it'll have on the bottom dramatization, so you know that guy is not really a prior client that is like, he got me $500,000. Yeah, because you had $600,000 worth of medical bills. Yeah, I mean, do you not understand that? Where did you get that from? From a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow? No. So now all of us who have that same insurance have to pay higher premiums to make up the money that you just got. Well, I mean, if there is no for a company, they'll continue to put out shit and do what they can get away with to make a buck. That's why you have to have that. The only thing that corporations understand is profit. And if you hit them in the pocketbook, they will stop doing whatever they're doing. They don't going to jail wouldn't make a difference. They'd send people to jail all the time in a corporation. Oh, sorry, you got to do 10 years. Shouldn't have done that. We're going to insulate ourselves from you. And that's that. But if you hit them in the pocketbook where they don't get their bonuses or they lose money or any kind of shit like that, they'll take notice. Toot sweet, young man.
I would like a little bit of truth in advertising. He got me $500,000 and then he took $160,000 of it.
Yeah.
All he did was make a few phone calls. We never even went to court.
His lawyer talked to their lawyer, and they said, well, what do you think they'll go for? And he'll say, it looks like they'll go for $500,000. Well, okay, we'll take the $500,000. All right, you get your money, I get my money? Yeah, all right, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a racket. Hey, you know what? If you whine and cry enough and bitch and moan enough, people will finally start to take notice and you'll get what you want. The U.S. Soccer organization is offering the same contracts for its men and women teams, even though the men's team brings in a shit ton of revenue and the women's team does not. So all those women that were crying, oh, we don't make as much as the men and the men don't do. Yeah, it's not about that. It's about how much money you bring in. Same thing with the WNBA. They were talking, they had LeBron James has 4 championships and MVP this many times. And there was another woman who's in the WNBA, and she has 4 championships and NBA, almost the same exact record. And LeBron makes like $1 Brazilian, and she makes maybe $160,000. And I'm like, that's because the WNBA doesn't generate any revenue. Nobody goes to the games. Nobody cares. Now, if this lady would like to try out for an NBA team, and if she was talented enough to make the NBA team and work and play in an NBA team and be a productive member of the team, then she would get paid a lot more money. But the problem is that she's the best in the WNBA, and here in the NBA, she couldn't even make the roster on the worst team. So the U.S. Soccer Federation is taking major steps regarding equal pay concerns for its men and women's national teams. So what are they going to do? Are they going to bring the men's cost down? Are they going to bring they
should tell the women, hey, you want the same bank, you have to generate the same revenue. So in order to do that, we're going to have women's teams playing men's teams.
That would be good. I'd love that. I'd like that. In a statement, the U.S. Soccer says they firmly believe that the best path forward for all involved and for the future of the sport in the United States is a single pay structure for both senior national teams. The Players Union didn't publicly comment on the Federation's announcement, so this ought to be interesting. I want to follow this because, I mean, yeah, they're a very good team. The United States is a very good ladies team. It's a very good team in the world. And the men's team in the World Cup, men's World Cup, they're not good. But everybody comes out to see the men play.
It would be a fair fight then. Let's let the women's World Cup team play the men's World Cup. Let's see it. Give it a shot.
The last time they were crying about this, I said, okay, let's put your money where your mouth is. Men play the women, and you put your salaries on the line. And if the men win, you take your salary and shut up. And if the women win, men, you take the women's salary and shut up. Yeah. That's what they should do.
Fair is fair.
That's right. Put that on pay-per-view. I'd watch that, and I hate soccer. Talk about something that'll put you to sleep. Guys running around in shorts, kicking a ball. Yuck.
This is changing topics, if that's okay.
Changing the subject now.
This is this video. It was all in French. Oui, madame.
Okay.
But you don't need that. You just pay attention to the actual video itself. This apparently they didn't know that the cameras were on yet. So watch what everybody but the guy at the podium. So pay attention to everybody but him.
What?
Oh no! What? Everybody, put your masks on. Put your masks on. We're going live. Come on.
The camera is on.
What are you waiting for? He had to get his out of his sleeve. Out there, he got a clean one that was black. That looks good.
Everybody, get your mask on. The TV cameras are on. Please, get your mask on.
Oui. Buttholes, man. Buttholes.
I'm just telling you right now, that this whole mask thing is a big joke. No one's paying attention to it. I just got a note from my old co-host Deuce. He listens to the show, and he says, "You're slipping. Howard Stern's New Year's Eve 1984 show had Sherman Helmsley blackface skit, not the Channel 9 show."
Okay.
So there's a correction.
Yeah. Well, that was the gaslighting episode.
Didn't
we
do
didn't
it
talk
here,
about that on here. You talked about, well, you briefly mentioned it, but you didn't play any clips or nothing like you did on gaslighting.
So I did that on gaslighting. Listen, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. So the fact that that's right, because I went to the video and pulled it up. That's right. I went to YouTube and pulled up the video. I apologize.
What is this one? This lady's going to stand up. What is that about?
Well, it's another lady who just sits there and she's very, very upset with Joe Biden. Hey, listen, if you have kids in the car, why would you listen to this show? She's very upset with what's going on here, and she has something to say about it.
More TikTok, yay.
Shit loser gets on fucking national television and threatens us all. Better get the vaccine or you're not going to have a fucking job. Oh, yeah. Tell your employees get the vaccine or they don't have a job. Tell your patients get the fucking vaccine. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you. Really, Bitler? You're going to take care of me like you took care of our fucking 13 members of the fucking military that you just fucking slaughtered? You're going to take care of me like that?
Potty mouth.
Yeah, you are. Because you want us all fucking dead. Listen here, you Nazi fucking cow. Take your Hitler-loving socialistic fucking ass. Get the fuck out of my fucking country. Get the fuck out of here. Take your fucking cackling ass hyena with you and Pig Losi on your other arm and get the fuck out of the United States of motherfucking America. This is land of the fucking free. We're going to stand up, Joey. We're going to stand up and we're going to take our fucking country back.
I was gonna ding every time she.
Oh yeah, she's definitely an East Coast girl.
Jeez, potty mouth on that one.
I know.
You know, yeah, I think you would get your message across a lot better if you just maybe half the F-bombs, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make you sound intelligent at all when you do that. I mean, I drop F-bombs too, but I usually use it as an emphasis of passion, not just as a crutch word in between words.
Oh, no, not us.
So,
here in the Northeast, we use it as an adjective, an adverb.
Well, sure.
A modifier.
It's a universal word. I don't think we've talked about this yet. Last topic, Norm Mcdonald passed away on us.
Norm!
At age 61, he's been battling cancer for the last 10 years. Didn't tell anybody, really. So
it was a shock. And
it was. I didn't.
Yesterday, everything on social media was a picture of Norm, a video of Norm when he first came, when he did his very first Letterman. Norm
on The View.
Norm on The View.
Which was funny.
Yeah, he got in trouble there.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't, again, Norm's one of those guys, he just, I don't care.
He said that Clinton murdered a guy, and then Barbara Walters was like, hey, now, we're not doing that on this show.
He didn't murder a guy? The one thing I loved was, excuse me, he was in with Jerry Seinfeld in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yes.
And he goes,
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, you think Bill Cosby's legacy is going to be harmed by this? And Jerry's like parking the car. She's like, yeah. And he says, Patton Oswalt, comedian, said that the hypocrisy is the worst part of all this. And I said, I don't think that is. And Jerry goes, what do you think was the worst part? He goes, I think it was the rape. The rape was the hypocrisy. And he just made Jerry Seinfeld just fall. I mean, when you can make a comedian laugh that hard.
He's a comedian's comedian.
He is a comedian's comedian.
Or was.
So, yeah, he was. I mean, he had a funny delivery, had a weird delivery. He would go on and do jokes, and you didn't know where he was going with them, and he would stutter through them and all. But at the end, you were cracking up. I mean, he's just a comedian's comedian. One of our Discord nitwits is very upset. It was his favorite comedian.
Yeah, Andrew was a major fan of Norm Macdonald. There's times when he talks, that you can hear him kind of channeling his inner Norm. So I felt bad for him because I know it was a big loss for him. So, and I like Andrew. He's a good shit. And I told him, my condolences, bud.
We should start a GoFundMe for Andrew's grieving fund. Norm Mcdonald.
No.
Grieving fund.
I mean, I tried to make him see the bright side that Norm left, a lifetime of comedy for us to enjoy and watch over and over again, which I think Norm's comedy does have that rewatch value. If you're a fan, it's
absolutely
worth watching again and again. I've never watched him where he didn't make me laugh. I can say that about, not that I hunted down all of his work or anything, but when I did see Norm pop in, it made me laugh. I always laughed. So
he always had a weird take on things.
Yeah.
You would think at times that he was, I don't know, not with us. And then he would just spout out something and it would just crack you up. It was so smart and so funny. So, yeah. And it was weird because he was doing a YouTube show a while back where he would bring people on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan of it. And then it went away. And I was like, well, what's Norm doing now? Well, apparently he was dying of cancer. So guess we know now what he was doing. As Bob smokes a cigarette.
What? Norm would laugh at that.
I understand.
He would laugh at that.
Smoking a cigarette.
What do you think have you heard about Eric Zane moving?
I honest to God, I haven't had a chance to listen to him. I know he got some kind of he got some kind of new microphone and apparently he's going to another platform, but I didn't get a chance to figure out what platform he's going to.
Yeah, I think he got an RE20, or he just took the cover off of his old one. I don't know what he did, but I can only catch, a little bit of a show before ours begins because his runs for like 3 or 4 hours during the morning, but he's on an hour before we go on. So for me,
and he does it by himself. That's what
he does it by himself. Well, he kind of doesn't rush anything. He's a slow talker. He doesn't mind long pauses, awkward long pauses. He'll occasionally, reference the live chat, which I think is great. I love it when they engage with the chat. That's part of why I'm there, is to be able to engage with him. I think that's wonderful. But I guess he's getting picked up by Kumia, but he's waiting for the contract.
Oh,
and his show is going to be only available on Twitch. You have to subscribe. Now, if you're an Amazon Prime member, since Amazon owns Twitch, you can do it. You can somehow get a free subscription to his show through Amazon Prime and your Amazon Prime account. Now, there's no links up yet. Nobody knows anything yet because the ink isn't dry. He hasn't signed contracts yet, but he did make the announcement that his show is going to be, migrating over to Twitch.
Wow. So, okay. Well, maybe he's moving it. I wonder why. Okay. Here's the thing about Twitch. Twitch is for young kids, teenagers, maybe up to 30. Boomers, nobody's over there listening to our show or, his show over there.
I let him know in the chat this morning. He read it. You can tell when he reads stuff and then he doesn't talk about it, but he'll read it. I said, we do a morning show too. He knows who I am because of you, because he was the one who did he was the guest host when Carl played your first initial Rage
Cringe
Quit.
of the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't it, fat.
So then I went on Eric Zane a couple weeks later with Soft Weekly and talked about it briefly. And I like Eric. Eric's a good guy. So he knows me. He knows who I am, at least. And I let him know. I said, with Twitch, they're the only ones that I've ever seen our live stream disappear from during the show. And I don't know if it was because of anything we said or it's just a glitch, but they're the only ones that we've ever lost connection with during a live stream. So have fun with that.
Right. It was twice. It happened twice. And I'm not talking about the time where I tried to change the password and we couldn't get back on again. I fixed that. But right now, I mean, hey, listen, more power to the guy if he wants to do that. I mean, he's trying. He's an entrepreneur. He's a limo driver. He's doing the podcast. He's got advertising. He does all this. He sells all the advertising himself. He's a one-man band. So good for him. I wish him success. I don't think his show, I don't think anybody over in Kumia's world is going to like that show. My humble opinion. I don't think it's edgy enough.
Know what kind of connections he made as far as with, larger names than him to get on his show. I don't know what kind of connections he made. I don't know anything about his radio background. I know very little about it up there in, Michigan area. Isn't he in Grand Rapids or something or whatever? That area.
Yeah, he's up in Michigan. I think he used to have a radio show, Hot Wings and Cold Beer or something like that was the name of the show.
Okay.
Could be right. I don't know any. I could be wrong on all this.
Right. So I don't know what kind of connections he made. And, a lot of times when you're a long time, radio host and you have a fairly decent show, you'll make some connections with certain celebrities, whatever, and you can call them back later.
There's nothing worse than two radio guys that were in the same market getting on and talking about the good old days. It is the most dry, white toast, boring conversation you've ever heard in your entire life.
Hey, you know what, guys? This right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. That was John.
That was me. That is horrible. But again, I mean, they're all talking about, I remember when you were at the 106.3, the Feather, and you guys had that morning show and you were doing good work. And oh yeah, and I remember when you were at 92.7, the Mole, and
right, yeah.
Like, who cares? No one cares. No one knows what you're talking about. You could have this conversation on a phone because the only two people that are entertained by this are you and him and maybe three other people that might be in the radio business that listen to this. Anybody else has no idea what you're talking about and does not care.
No.
So, but hey, I'm sure he's got irons in the fire because, just like Megyn Kelly, she was doing the podcast because she had no other way of doing the show. No one else, she wasn't working for anybody else. She did the podcast. The podcast took off and Sirius offered her a contract. And she just was like, hey, podcasting, this booger on my finger, I'm going to flick this booger and I'm going to go right over to Sirius. And now her podcast is, it's okay. But it's a radio show that they've turned into a podcast. They're two totally different things. It's not long form. They don't talk until the subject's over. They've got an hour. Oh, we're up against the clock. I only got 5 minutes for in 2 minutes. Can you tell me this? No, that's a radio show. It's got to be done by a certain time. I'm sure she's got a staff now and it's easier on her. I get why she's doing it, but it's not a podcast anymore. So. All right. Any dad jokes?
You know it. I'm not going to tell them to you, but no, I'm just kidding. So why do ghosts hear so well?
I don't know.
Because they're eerie.
Eerie. I get it.
All
right, everybody. We'll talk to you.
Another one for you real quick. What do you call a black podcaster?
I don't know.
A podcaster, you racist piece of shit. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? I wrote that one myself. You're welcome.
All right. I'll talk to you. Everybody, we'll talk to you later.